Everyone in the coastal kingdom of Valamir knew the same story. 300 years ago, an entire city sank beneath the ocean. Not slowly, not over years, in a single night. One moment it stood proudly above the waves, the next, gone, swallowed by the sea. No survivors were ever found, no explanation was ever discovered. Only legends remained. Legends claiming that on certain nights, the drowned city still called to people. Most dismissed the tale, most were wrong. 18-year-old Rowan Tideborn heard the city speak on the night of his 18th birthday. It began with a storm, a terrible storm, the kind sailors feared, the kind fishermen prayed against. Waves battered the cliffs, thunder shook the sky, and somewhere beneath the roaring sea, a voice whispered, "Help us." Rowan froze. The voice hadn't come from the wind or the thunder. It had come from below, far below, deep beneath the ocean. "Help us." The words came again, clearer this time, sad, lonely, ancient. Rowan stepped closer to the cliff's edge. The sea below churned violently, yet through the darkness he saw lights, hundreds of lights, moving beneath the waves like lanterns carried through underwater streets. That's impossible! The lights suddenly formed a shape, a map of a city. Then they vanished, as if they had never existed. The Black Compass. The next morning, Rowan told no one. Who would believe him? Instead, he went to the harbor, trying to convince himself it had been a dream, a trick of the storm, a trick of his imagination. Then he found the compass. It lay on the dock, waiting. A black compass. Old, ancient. Its glass was cracked, its metal covered in strange symbols, and unlike ordinary compasses, its needle didn't point north, it pointed downward, straight toward the ocean floor. Rowan stared, then picked it up. The moment his fingers touched it, the harbor vanished. He stood beneath the sea, not drowning, not swimming, standing, as though the ocean itself had become air. Towering buildings surrounded him, statues, bridges, palaces, an entire city, beautiful, silent, dead. Yet not entirely empty. Shadows moved through the streets, thousands of them. Ghostly figures wandering endlessly, waiting, searching. Then one figure approached, a young girl, about Rowan's age. Silver hair floated around her like drifting seaweed. Her eyes glowed faint blue, sad eyes, ancient eyes. "You can hear us." Rowan couldn't speak. The girl smiled faintly. "Finally!" The vision shattered. The harbor returned. Rowan stumbled backward. The compass remained in his hand, its needle still pointing downward. That night, someone knocked on Rowan's door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. His parents were asleep. The village was silent. Only the sea could be heard. Rowan opened the door. A stranger stood outside, tall, wearing a dark blue coat. Rain dripped from its edges, though it hadn't rained all day.
The stranger carried a lantern glowing with blue fire, and around his neck hung a black compass identical to Rowan's. The man's eyes widened. "You found one." Rowan instinctively stepped backward. "Who are you?" The stranger removed his hood. A scar crossed one side of his face. His expression was tired, the expression of someone who had searched for something a very long time. "My name is Captain Auralin." A pause, and if you can hear the drowned city, his face darkened. We're already too late. Thunder rolled across the sea. The black compass suddenly spun wildly, faster, 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 then stopped, pointing toward the horizon, where an enormous shape slowly emerged from the ocean. A tower, a colossal black tower, rising from beneath the waves for the first time in 3 centuries. And from somewhere inside it, a horn sounded, deep, ancient, terrifying, as though something imprisoned beneath the sea had just awakened.
The horn echoed across the ocean, deep, ancient, terrifying. Every window in Rowan's village rattled. The sea itself seemed to recoil, and far on the horizon, the black tower continued rising. Water cascaded from its sides like waterfalls. 300 years beneath the ocean had not weakened it. If anything, it looked stronger, as though the sea had been protecting it, waiting. Captain Auralin stared at the tower, his face pale. "No. What's wrong?" Auralin's eyes never left the horizon. That tower should never have awakened. The black compass suddenly grew warm. Rowan nearly dropped it. The needle spun, then pointed directly toward the tower. "What is it?" Auralin answered immediately. "A prison." Silence. "A prison for what?" The captain swallowed. "For a king." The sea roared, as though it had heard him. An hour later, they were aboard Auralin's ship, a weathered vessel called the Seabreaker. Its sails were dark blue, its hull covered in symbols identical to those on the compass. As they sailed toward the horizon, Rowan noticed something strange. The crew never spoke. Not once. Silent men and women moved across the deck, adjusting ropes, raising sails, watching the sea, like ghosts. Finally, Rowan asked, "Why is nobody talking?" Auralin hesitated, then answered quietly, "Because they drowned." Silence. "What?" "All of them." The captain looked toward the crew, "including me." That was not a reassuring answer, not even slightly. "You're dead?" "Mostly." "Mostly?" "It's complicated." The crew continued working, completely unconcerned by this revelation, which somehow made it worse. By sunset, they reached the place where the tower had appeared. The sea became unnaturally calm. No waves, no wind. Nothing. The black tower rose from the center of a vast circle of still water, and around it, the ocean glowed. Blue lights moved beneath the surface, thousands of them. Lanterns. The same lights Rowan had seen during the storm. The drowned city. Still there. Still waiting. The black compass suddenly floated from Rowan's hand, hovering above the water. A beam of blue light shot downward,
straight into the depths. Then, the ocean split apart. The crew stepped back. Even Auralin looked shocked, because that had never happened before. The sea opened, not parted, opened like a doorway, revealing a staircase descending into darkness toward the city below. "Impossible," Auralin whispered, again with that word.
Rowan muttered. The captain actually laughed, for the first time. Fair enough. Then his smile vanished. But this really is impossible. The staircase carried them beneath the ocean, down, deeper, deeper still. Yet somehow Rowan could breathe. So could Auralin. The sea flowed around them without touching them, as though some ancient magic protected the path. Finally, they reached the bottom, and Rowan saw the drowned city again. This time, for real. Towering palaces, marble streets, crystal bridges, all perfectly preserved beneath the sea. Beautiful. Haunting. Lonely. Then someone appeared. The silver-haired girl. The same girl from the vision. She stood at the center of the empty street, waiting. Her glowing blue eyes met Rowan's. "You came. Who are you?" The girl smiled sadly. "My name is Lyra. I've been waiting 300 years. Rowan stared. "For me?" "Yes." That was somehow more alarming than helpful. "Why?" Lyra looked toward the black tower. Her smile disappeared. "Because only the last Tidewalker can hear the city." Silence. "The last what?" Auralin suddenly froze. "No." Lyra nodded. "Yes." She pointed toward Rowan. "He's the last heir." Heir to what? The answer came from everywhere at once. The streets, the sea, the city itself. Thousands of ghostly voices speaking together. "The Sea King's blood." A chill ran down Rowan's spine, because deep inside, something stirred. A memory. Not his memory. Something older. Far older. Water suddenly rose around him, spiraling upward, glowing blue. Ancient symbols appeared across his skin. The sea was recognizing him, remembering him, and that terrified everyone, especially Lyra. "No! What's happening?" The girl's eyes widened. "He knows you're here." The tower shook, violently. Cracks spread across its surface. The horns sounded again, louder, closer. Then a gigantic eye opened near the top of the tower, an eye larger than a ship, glowing green beneath the ocean, watching Rowan, hunting Rowan. And from inside the tower came a voice, cold, ancient, furious. "The Sea King's son lives." The city trembled. Ghosts fled into the streets. The ocean darkened, and the prison beneath the sea finally began to break. The gigantic eye opened within the black tower, glowing green, ancient, furious. The entire drowned city trembled. Buildings cracked. The sea churned violently overhead, and every ghost in the streets fled, running, hiding, praying, because they knew exactly who was awakening. "The Sea King's son lives." The voice echoed again, cold enough to freeze oceans. Rowan stared at the tower. "Who is that?" No one answered immediately. Lyra looked terrified. Captain Auralin looked worse, much worse. Finally, Lyra spoke. "The one who drowned us." Silence. What? 300 years ago. Her glowing eyes filled with sorrow. He destroyed the city. Why? The answer came from Captain Auralin, quietly, painfully. Because we betrayed the Sea King. The ocean suddenly grew still, as if listening. Blue light filled the city. A memory emerged from the water, ancient, beautiful. The drowned city came alive. Its streets bustled with people. Ships filled the harbor. Music echoed through the air. At the center stood a magnificent palace, made entirely of crystal and pearl, and upon its throne sat a man, tall, powerful, wearing a crown of living coral, the Sea King. Rowan froze, because the king looked exactly like him, older, stronger, but undeniably familiar. King Thalar, Lyra whispered, the last ruler of the Tide Kingdom. The memory continued. The Sea King protected the oceans, controlled storms, guided sailors home, maintained balance between land and sea. For centuries, peace endured. Then, someone arrived, a stranger from beyond the horizon, a man wearing black armor, a man carrying a green crystal, a crystal that seemed alive, wrong, hungry. The stranger approached the king. "Help me." The Sea King studied the crystal, immediately recognizing danger. "No." The stranger's smile vanished. "Then you'll regret it." The vision darkened. Storms appeared. Ships vanished. People disappeared. The kingdom slowly descended into fear, until finally, someone betrayed the king. Not enemies, not invaders, his own people. "No," Rowan whispered. Lyra lowered her head. They were afraid. The memory showed crowds gathering, demanding protection, demanding answers, demanding power. The stranger had poisoned their minds, turning fear into hatred, turning doubt into rebellion. The Sea King stood alone, abandoned by the kingdom he had protected. What happened next? Nobody answered, because Rowan already knew. The memory showed it. The Sea King's heartbreaking, not from betrayal, from disappointment. And then the ocean rose, a wall of water taller than mountains. The city vanished beneath the sea in a single night. The memory shattered. Silence filled the street. "The Sea King drowned the city?" Rowan whispered. "No," Lyra shook her head. "That's the lie." Rowan frowned. "What?" Tears filled her eyes. "He tried to save us." The black tower suddenly shook, violently. Cracks spread across its surface. The green eye narrowed, watching, listening. Lyra continued. The stranger's crystal wasn't ordinary magic. It was alive, a creature, a monster. Captain Auralin nodded. An ancient thing from beneath the sea. A chill ran through Rowan. The crystal was a prison. Exactly. The green eye in the tower glowed brighter, angrier. When the prison broke, Auralin's voice trembled, the creature awakened, and the Sea King sank the city to trap it. Silence. The truth settled heavily. The Sea King hadn't destroyed his kingdom. He had sacrificed it to save the world. Water suddenly erupted around Rowan. Blue light spiraled skyward. Ancient symbols blazed across his skin, this time stronger, brighter. The city began glowing in response. The streets, the towers, the palace, everything. The ocean recognized him, and so did the ghosts. One by one, they knelt. Thousands of them, the entire drowned city kneeling before Rowan. "Your Majesty!" The words echoed everywhere. Ghosts, spirits, ancient voices, all speaking together. The heir has returned. Rowan stepped backward. "No, I'm not a king." Lyra smiled sadly. "Not yet." Then the black tower exploded. A deafening crack split the ocean. The green eye shattered. Black water poured from the tower. Not ordinary water, living darkness. Something massive moved within it. Something colossal. Something imprisoned for 300 years. A claw emerged, larger than a ship, covered in black scales. Then another. Then a gigantic head rose from the tower ruins. A sea dragon, but horribly twisted. Its scales glowed green. Chains hung from its body. Its eyes burned with endless hatred. The ancient prisoner, the creature inside the crystal, the monster the Sea King had sacrificed everything to imprison. And when it saw Rowan, it smiled. A terrible smile. "At last," the dragon's voice shook the ocean. "The bloodline survived." The creature spread its colossal wings. Darkness flooded the sea, and Rowan suddenly realized something horrifying. The monster wasn't trying to escape. It had been waiting specifically for him.
The sea dragon smiled. A terrible smile. Ancient, patient, hungry. The drowned city shook violently. Buildings cracked. Ghosts fled through the streets. Even Captain Auralin stepped backward because he recognized that smile. "No!" "What?" The captain stared at the creature. "It's remembering." The dragon's green eyes never left Rowan. 3 centuries. Its voice echoed through the ocean. 3 centuries of waiting. The creature slowly descended from the ruins of the tower. Its chains dragged across the seabed, each link larger than a ship, each covered in ancient runes. Runes that were breaking one by one. "Who are you?" Rowan shouted. The dragon laughed, a sound that made the ocean tremble. "I have had many names." Dark water spiraled around it. "Monster, prisoner, destroyer." The dragon's eyes narrowed. But once, it smiled. "I was family." Silence. Absolute silence. "What?" The dragon's gaze softened, only slightly. "You truly don't know." The ocean around them began glowing. A hidden memory awakened, not from the city, not from the ghosts, from Rowan himself. Blue light erupted from his chest. Ancient memories flooded the streets. A palace, a throne room, King Thalor standing beside another figure, a younger figure, a prince. The prince looked almost identical to Rowan, except for one detail. His eyes glowed green, the same green as the sea dragon. "No," Lyra whispered. "It can't be." The dragon watched silently. The memory continued. The prince laughed beside his father, trained beside him, sailed beside him, loved him. Father and son, king and heir, a happy family. Until the day the green crystal arrived, the same crystal brought by the stranger, the same crystal that held the imprisoned creature. The prince approached it first, curious, too curious. The crystal cracked, just slightly, just enough.
A whisper escaped, a whisper older than oceans. "Let me in." The prince froze. Green light entered his eyes. The memory darkened. Days became weeks, weeks became months. The prince changed, slowly, subtly, until eventually the creature wasn't whispering anymore. It was living inside him. "No," Rowan whispered. The dragon closed his eyes. "Yes." The memory shattered. "You were the prince." The realization struck like lightning. "You were the Sea King's son." The dragon nodded. "Prince Nerion." Silence. "But that's impossible." 300 years ago. Again with that word. The dragon sighed. "Your family does love that phrase." Even Auralin looked stunned. The monster wasn't imprisoned in the prince. The prince became the prison. More memories emerged. The final night. The city sinking. The ocean rising. King Thalor standing before his son. Before Nerion. Before the creature fully consumed him. The Sea King was crying. Actually crying. "Forgive me." Young Nerion smiled sadly. "You always protected everyone." The ocean rose around them. "Now, let me protect them." King Thalor shook his head. "You're my son, and they're my people." Silence. Then Nerion embraced his father for the last time. "Save them." The memory exploded, and Rowan finally understood. The Sea King hadn't sacrificed the city. His son had. Prince Nerion willingly became the prison, and the city sank with him. 300 years ago. The dragon lowered its head. For the first time, it looked tired. Very tired. The prison is failing. The chains around its body shattered. Another link broke. Then another. "I've held it back for centuries." Darkness leaked from beneath its scales. "But I can't much longer." The ocean suddenly trembled. A deep rumble echoed through the seabed. Far below, much farther below, deeper than the city, deeper than the tower, deeper than sunlight had ever reached. A gigantic crack opened in the ocean floor. Ghostly blue light poured upward. The sea dragon immediately looked terrified. Actually terrified. "No. What's down there?" The dragon stared into the abyss. The creature's true body. Silence. "What?" "Everything you've seen." The dragon's voice shook. The crystal, the corruption, the darkness, even me. Its green eyes darkened. "We're only fragments." The trench widened, miles wide, miles deep, an endless wound in the ocean floor, and from somewhere far below, something moved. Something so large that the trench itself seemed small around it. Lyra's face turned pale. Captain Auralin dropped to one knee. The ghosts throughout the city screamed because they recognized it. An ancient horror, a forgotten god, a creature older than the sea itself. Two colossal emerald eyes slowly opened in the darkness, and a voice rose from the deepest trench.
a voice that sounded like oceans dying. "My prison weakens." The entire world shook. Mountains cracked on distant continents. Storms formed across the oceans. And Rowan's black compass shattered in his hand. Because the thing beneath the sea had awakened.
The shattered compass fell from Rowan's hand. Its fragments drifted into the dark water. Far below, two colossal emerald eyes stared upward, watching, waiting, awakening. The deepest trench in the world widened. The ocean groaned. Storms formed across distant seas. Entire coastlines trembled. And for the first time in 300 years, the prison was breaking. "My prison weakens," the voice echoed through the abyss. Older than kingdoms, older than oceans, older than fear itself. Rowan stepped toward the trench. "Then we stop it!" The sea dragon shook his head. "You don't understand." Darkness leaked from the cracks in its scales. "This thing cannot be killed." "Then how was it imprisoned?" Silence. The dragon looked away, toward the palace, toward the ancient throne of the Sea King. "With a sacrifice." Blue light erupted from the trench. Another memory appeared, the final memory, the one hidden for 3 centuries. King Falor stood upon the ocean floor, alone, broken. His kingdom was sinking. His son was becoming a prison. And before him stood the ancient creature, not fully awake, but powerful enough to destroy worlds. The Sea King raised his trident. "You will not have them." The creature laughed. "You cannot stop the tide." "No," the king smiled sadly, "but I can become it." The ocean exploded with light. The entire ocean answered his call. Every wave, every current, every drop of water. The king became one with the sea. His body vanished. His spirit spread across the world's oceans, creating the prison, creating the trench, creating the chains, holding the creature beneath the sea for 300 years. The vision shattered. Rowan stood frozen. "He's still alive!" Lyra nodded, tears in her eyes. "The Sea King never died. He's been holding the prison shut all this time." The trench suddenly erupted. A massive pillar of blue light surged upward. From its center emerged a trident, a magnificent weapon forged from living water, covered with glowing runes, ancient, royal, powerful. The Trident of Tides, the Sea King's weapon, the weapon of the air. The trident floated toward Rowan, then settled into his hands. The moment he touched it, the ocean remembered. Waves rose across the world. Whales sang. Coral forests glowed. Ancient sea spirits awakened. The sea had found its king. The air has returned. The drowned city spoke as one. Thousands of voices, thousands of souls. The trench exploded. The ancient creature finally emerged. Not entirely, only part of it. And that alone was enough to darken the horizon. Its body stretched beyond sight. Its scales resembled shattered continents. Its eyes burned emerald green. Storm clouds formed around its head. The sea dragon trembled, even now, even after 3 centuries. "Run!" Rowan didn't. The creature laughed. "Another king?" Its gaze fixed upon him. "Will you sacrifice yourself too?" The question echoed. The same choice, the same fate, the same tragedy, again and again and again. Then Rowan remembered something, a lesson hidden in every story, a lesson everyone else had missed. "No." The creature blinked. "What?" "My father sacrificed himself." Rowan raised the trident. "My brother sacrificed himself." The sea dragon looked up sharply. "My kingdom sacrificed itself." Blue light erupted across the ocean. "It's time someone lived." The trident blazed, not with destruction, with connection. The drowned city glowed. The sea dragon glowed. The ghosts glowed. Even the Sea King's ancient prison glowed. The magic wasn't forcing them apart, it was bringing them together. For centuries, everyone had carried it alone. The king, the prince, the city, the ghosts, the prison, all suffering separately. Now they shared it. The ocean answered. Millions of spirits joined their strength. The drowned city rose, slowly, beautifully, for the first time in 300 years. Palaces emerged from the sea, bridges rose from beneath the waves, towers touched sunlight once more. The kingdom returned, and with it, the prison strengthened, not through sacrifice, through unity. The ancient creature roared. The emerald light around it faded. Its immense form was pulled back into the trench, not destroyed, contained, sleeping once more, this time by the will of many, not the suffering of one. The trench slowly closed. The storms disappeared. The sea became calm, at peace. Blue light appeared above the ocean, warm, gentle, familiar. The spirit of King Thalor emerged, the Sea King, at last free. Rowan stared, unable to speak. The king smiled. "You've grown." "I never met you." "I know." The king laughed softly. "But I've watched every wave." Tears filled Rowan's eyes. "Was I really your son?" The king shook his head. "No." Silence. "What?" The king smiled. "You are something better." "What?" "A new beginning." The spirit looked toward the rising city, toward Lyra, toward Auralin, toward the sea dragon. The ocean doesn't need another sea king. It needs its first tide keeper. The blue light slowly faded, peacefully, like a sunset, like a promise fulfilled. And this time, the Sea King truly rested. 1 year later, the drowned city lived again, not beneath the sea, above it. Ships filled its harbor, children laughed in its streets, ghosts finally found peace. Captain Auralin became master of the harbor, though he still claimed he was only mostly alive. Lyra became the city's first historian, recording every story that had almost been forgotten. The sea dragon, Prince Nerian, was finally free. The corruption gone, the prison ended. And Rowan, the first tide keeper, guardian of the oceans, protector of balance, keeper of stories beneath the waves. Sometimes, on quiet nights, he stood upon the cliffs, listening, not for cries of help, but for laughter, because the city beneath the sea was drowned no longer, and the ocean finally sang a happier song. The strongest walls are not built from stone. They are built from people standing together. One sacrifice can save a world, but shared hope can rebuild it. The ocean remembers everything, the good, the bad, the lost. And if we listen carefully, the waves may tell us how to begin again.